here's the other thing people should watch. This is why they should watch, in my opinion. First off, the Raiders are on fire. The Raiders are kind of fun to watch. They are. They've turned a corner here. And, like, Raiders in the playoffs is still a very real possibility. They got the Chargers, the Jets, and the Patriots in front of them. They play the Patriots. The Chargers, most people are going to pick them to lose against the Dolphins this week, right? I mean, the Jets have a pretty tough schedule down the stretch. This ain't over. It ain't over. So that's where I would tell people, if I was sitting here being paid a few $1 million by Mr. Bezos, that's what I would sell. And it's not over. And then they kind of got it going right now and are playing pretty good football, and I think they're kind of fun to watch in doing it.
There's a game looming.
Yeah.
As we look at the standalone contests to come over the next few weeks. One day after the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, Christmas Eve, 8:15 p.m. kickoff.
That's cool, I know.
NFL Network.
Yeah.
Raiders, Steelers. One of those teams could be the team. I mean, it could be kind of an elimination game between the Steelers and the Raiders. Whoever wins that game still very much alive to steal a spot in the postseason field from whoever the 7th seed may be and whoever may fall off. So that one's huge because the Steelers right now also 5-7. They could go to 6-7 this weekend. The Raiders could go to 6-7 tonight. They can both keep their climb going, and one of them could maybe get in, and maybe it comes down to December 24 in Pittsburgh to decide which one of the two makes a push the final 2 weeks of the season. So,
right.
Hey, the Raiders, it's amazing. They were done. They were left for dead. Good Lord. You lost to a Colts team that had one of the most crazy weeks that any team has ever had, that it's self-inflicted on itself.
Yeah.
By firing Frank Reich and hiring Jeff Saturday, and who's going to call the plays? Gee, pretty important decision. We need to make that decision. What are the players going to do? What the hell are we doing here? Jeff Saturday get up to speed, and they go to Las Vegas and they win. And they're winless since then, and the Raiders are unbeaten since then. It's just craziness.
It is.
But you're right. The Raiders have finally reached their full potential at a point when, there was talk about, would Josh McDaniels be one and done? Mark Davis, the owner of the team, made it clear that's not happening, in large part because he can't afford to pay the buyout. Unlike his friends in Denver, who can just bat an eye and the millions will fall out to pay Nathaniel Hackett to leave after 1 year.
Right.
Davis has to keep McDaniels. So then the question is, well, they're going to keep Derek Carr.
Yeah.
They're going to keep him.
Yeah.
And these two coexist. And now, 3 weeks later, it just shows you how quickly things can change in the NFL. But I'm with you, especially with Josh Jacobs expected to play tonight, the way Davante Adams has been playing, and Derek Carr. And just it's a total team effort, and they've gotten better and better and better every week. And this should be a game because, Chris, I feel like the Rams emptied the tank against the Seahawks on Sunday. So to turn it around on Thursday night, when they're 3-9, I just think that's going to be tough to do. And that just plays right into the Raiders' hands.
I hear you there. It did seem like the Rams kind of emptied the tank. They did some things on offense that they don't normally do. They tried to bring out every trick in the world to kind of help their football team out. They battled Seattle. I mean, hey, they were in the lead with, a minute and 30 seconds left, 40 seconds left in the football game until Geno Smith hits the game-winning touchdown. The Rams' defense is still damn good, even though there's no Aaron Donald, but the rest of the group, the scheme, it's still not easy. But when you talk about, this guy right here on the screen right now, Derek Carr, he's playing awesome football. I think that, it's a shame that the Raiders didn't win one or two of those games early on in the year where they blew leads and kind of were the better team on the field and then kind of messed up the end of the game. And got unfortunate where that Jeff Saturday thing kind of brought that team together, and you don't know what to expect from a team, and it got them. But you said it, ever since then, I think we're seeing why you stay patient with Josh McDaniels and what you've done there, Mark Davis, because one, I think Derek Carr is finally feels really comfortable in the system. And the more time he gets in the system, the more he's going to realize it's unbelievable. It's the most intricate, detailed system in football, and it's one that is you can't even really implement it all in a full year. It's like they're going to get to next offseason, and Derek Carr's going to be like, wait, there's another section in the playbook, and he's going to be like, we're going to the Brady level of the playbook now. We're going to start to get into some stuff here where it's a little more, detailed and crazier rules and stuff for certain pass plays. But between that Josh Jacobs, like you talked about, man, it's just like, they're going to throw it to Davante Adams. Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller aren't even there. Doesn't matter. They find ways to hit him every week. And then the defense has changed too here over the last few weeks. Patrick Graham, defensive coordinator, really good mind, but he's changed his approach too. It's like they lost to the Colts and they were like, all right, we got to maybe be a little more aggressive on offense, and defense, same thing. And, it'll be fun to watch tonight. But, yeah, I expect them to win the football game against a Rams team that, like you said, emptied the tank and is trying to hold it together and championship pride and all that. But there's only so much you can do.
And to your point from earlier, if you take a look at the NFL's standings, specifically for the AFC, with the Jets losing to the Vikings on Sunday, and the Jets are underdogs in Buffalo this coming Sunday, as they should be, they get to 7-6. The Patriots, who knows where they're going to go from here at 6-6. There is a cluster of 5 and 7 teams: the Browns, the Steelers, the Raiders. One of those three teams could break in the right direction, and I don't think the Browns will, because I think Deshaun Watson has a lot more work to do to get that team to a point where it can make a late push. But between the Steelers and the Raiders, that's the one to watch. That's one of those teams that can rise up and pick off the Jets currently at number 7, jump over the Patriots and the Chargers along the way. It just shows you how much a week or two can just change things in the NFL. It looked like all 4 teams from the AFC East were going to the playoffs not that long ago, but teams start, 1 or 2 losses, it dramatically changes how you feel about a team's fate. And 1 or 2 wins, or 3 straight as the case may be, and you're in position to make a run as the Raiders are. And, it was that Derek Carr press conference after the loss to the Colts.
Yeah, that's right.
Where it felt like crocodile tears, and there was the question of, is everybody in the locker room on the same page? Davante Adams said something similar. Josh McDaniels pushed back. It felt like they had inherited the Colts' dysfunction as a result of playing them, like it's a virus that was spreading. That's what's amazing to me. And I've been picking against them every week. Not going to tonight. Spoiler alert for the upcoming Mega Picks podcast. I won't be picking the Rams to beat the Raiders. Not tonight. But it's fun to see. And it just we set our narratives in September and October, but November and December can change everything about what we think, what we know, and where a team is heading. And the Raiders are a prime example of it this year. One of those teams, say it every year, hanging around at Thanksgiving, find the gas pedal, and off they go.
Yeah, they could be that. And last week, the other thing we had a Chandler Jones sighting. They got him going. And I think that's partly because of what they've been doing a little bit on defense, where they might have been more conservative and playing by the book earlier in the year. They kind of gotten more aggressive. You watch the Raiders now, it's there's periods of the game where you go, wait, is it the Dolphins or the Raiders I'm watching? There's people at the line of scrimmage. They're dropping out. Some are blitzing. Some are not. I mean, it's all over the place. So they've really changed their mantra. And that Derek Carr, it's people, listen, I understand sometimes those crying tears and some of the things he says in post-game press conference. I get people look at it and go, it's kind of cheesy or corny or whatever. I get it. I understand it. I see that aspect. But I will say, being around the guy before in life, he's like that. It's not an act. And, I do think he has, pretty high leadership skills. I do. And I think it speaks for itself. The fact that how he weathered the storm with John Gruden, who was trying to replace him. And then I think the other thing you got to take into account with Derek Carr is just, hey, the guys love him on the team. You don't ever hear anybody. I mean, Khalil Mack has gone to 2 different teams, and he still loves Derek Carr. I mean, it's like his buddy, my best teammate ever. Davante Adams left them forever and was in Green Bay and was like, I want to get back with the guy I played with in college. So there's something there to him. And I, give those 2 credit for kind of taking the reins after that game and calling out the team. Sometimes that's what you need. The coach can't always do it. The coach sometimes has to play good cop, bad cop. And when you're losing, it's hard for the coach to play bad cop too much and go, hey, we're not doing this enough and all that. So the players did it a little bit. And I give them credit for that. I understand people kind of making fun of him at time. I get it. But I think that's truly who he is. And I think he's a damn good quarterback, and he's playing really good football right now.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.